The United States has taken unilateral action against Venezuela. The president of Venezuela and his wife are in the custody of the United States today, and they are accused of crimes by the US government for which they are going to face trial. What does this act by the United States mean? What are its implications for countries like India, China, and weaker countries like Bangladesh and Pakistan? This is not the first time that the US has done such an act. Remember Abbottabad during the time of Osama bin Laden? Osama bin Laden was reportedly hiding in Abbottabad in Pakistan. An American SEAL team went in, extracted him, and disposed of his body without letting the world even know how fast and how quickly they did it. Nobody knows what happened to bin Laden. This is the second time that the United States has taken action, but this time it's against a head of state. So, what does this mean? And if this is legitimized, what are its legal implications? For example, now, can a powerful country like China, if it wants, pick up, say, the president of Bangladesh if and accuse him or her of some crime against the Chinese people or the Chinese government and then try them in China? Because if this precedent is set and if this precedent is accepted by the community, the international community, and all the countries of the world, let me here tell you one thing that Zohran Mamdani, the mayor of New York, has protested against this act by his own country. Anyhow, if this precedent is accepted, if this law is actually becomes a rule, I mean, if this act becomes a law or a rule and an internationally accepted rule, then it means that if I, even as a common citizen, misbehave with an American tourist or try and cheat an American tourist and I can be accused of a crime against an American, then if the country refuses to extradite me, for example, to the United States to face charges or does not take action under US law in India itself against me, then the US can send a helicopter, pick me up, take me to New York, try me there, and throw me into a US jail. Of course, this is a very far fetched idea, but there are implications in all this. For example, can the United States tomorrow accuse an Indian tycoon, an Indian industrialist, an Indian politician, an Indian bureaucrat of crime against the US, of crime against a US citizen, and force the government of India to extradite him or her? And in case they don't do so, can they send a team across, pick up that person like they did in Abbottabad, like they did in Venezuela? Can China, being another military power, do the same? Can Russia do the same? For example, can India do the same? For example, if they're unhappy with what's going on, say, in some small country in their neighborhood and feel that that country's president or prime minister is biased towards India, can they, or is encouraging some kind of drug trade or some kind of arms trade or encouraging terrorism for that matter? Can they pick up the president or prime minister of that country and bring him to India for trial? If this happens, the entire world is going to be thrown into chaos. So, this is time now for the United Nations, for the international community to come forward and set the rules for engagement to ensure that in case such an action has to be repeated by the United States or China or India, there are rules, laws to control and ensure that justice is done in such cases. And in case the accused is innocent, he should be free to go back to his own country. But to begin with, trampling on the sovereignty and soil of another nation is itself a very dangerous idea to toy with. It gives way to the days when the Roman Empire could barge into anybody's house or anybody's kingdom and take it over and parade their rulers in triumphs in Rome, which they did. It paves the way for the action that Genghis Khan used to take against kingdoms that defied his whims and fancies. So, it is time that we think, we sit down as civilized human beings and try and examine the implications of this precedent that the United States is trying to set. Will it be good for the world or will it be bad for the world? Only time will tell. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.